It is another beautiful Colorado day, and we are here for a beautiful Colorado event. We are very blessed today, not only to have our outstanding candidates for governor and for federal house, and our state legislative candidates here with us, but we are blessed to have our national chairman, Chairman Steele, was please. He's graciously started this bus tour, and you heard what you see what it says on the side of the bus. We want to fire Pelosi. I told the chairman in the elevator I would have changed it to put "and all the rest." That's just me.
We're working on that.
Indeed, one at a time. I wanted to welcome you here to the Victory Center today, and this is aptly named because that's what we're about here in Colorado. That's what the Republican Party is. We are strong, we are moving forward, and we're going to win, and win convincingly. And I will make you one promise: I'm finished. Right to the meat, so you won't need that Red Bull after all. We have some incredible candidates. The first candidate I want to bring up is a candidate for the 2nd Congressional District, currently inhabited by Jared Polis, an activist with an agenda. Well, we all know there's only one way to beat an activist with an agenda, and that's with another activist. But this activist agenda is the Constitution, is the sovereignty of the people of Colorado and the United States. That's why we want to welcome Stephen Bailey here today and help us welcome him into the 112th Congress.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are we ready to take all 7 congressional seats in Colorado? I think Mr. Polis is going to be surprised that the people of the 2nd Congressional are going to hold him accountable for putting us $3 trillion further in debt by spending stimulus money for which even Senator Bennett says we have nothing to show for. But he's wrong. We have nothing positive to show for. We have plenty negative to show for it. Higher unemployment, an economy that's stuck in neutral. We need to get things moving again. The only way that's going to happen is if we can eliminate these people that are in Congress that have the wrong ideas, the wrong policies. They want to control our lives, and when you control our lives, it's impossible for us to be prosperous because we're not free to pursue our dreams and our values. We're stuck doing what somebody like Jared Polis thinks we should be doing with our lives. Now, are you ready to live your life for your purpose? Yeah. Let's restore our liberty, let's restore our freedom, restore respect and honor of our Constitution, and then we'll restore our economic prosperity and we'll kick people like Jared Polis back to private life where they can't harm us any longer.
That's what I love, right to the point. Kick them out, put the good folks in. Our next candidate is up against a challenge as well in the 1st Congressional District against Diana DeJette, the champion of Obamacare. Yeah. Well, we know how to fix that. How do you beat the champion of ill-gotten health care? You send a doctor. Sick, but not for very long, because we're sending Dr. Mike Fowler in the Congress. Yeah!
What a great pleasure to be here today, and I was very honored that I was at the kickoff for this great tour in Washington a couple of weeks ago. It's true, I'm a physician, and I need to cure Congress. The way we cure Congress is we send Ms. DeGette home. She brought us health care that has taken over 20% of our national economy. It is pushing us toward a single-payer system that the American people have spoken out. That is not what we want. We have to remind her she does not work for Nancy Pelosi. Nancy's going to be out of a job soon.
Yeah.
As a businessman, I couldn't stand by any longer as Ms. DeGette and her Congress passed legislation that overregulated and overtaxed our small business as we suffer looking for jobs and trying to get our country back to work. We need to become business friendly again. As a citizen of this great nation, I look as our country becomes addicted to entitlement. Dependency on the government is no way to live. We need to return our country to the land of opportunity where our children will have the same opportunity to succeed through hard work that we have. And I'm mostly taking this on because of my kids. I have two small children, Sam and Emma. The country we have today is not the country we had 20 years ago, but we can take it back. And we do it one congressional seat at a time. We fire Ms. Pelosi, we fire her right-hand gal, Ms. DeGette, and we get responsible people back in Washington who will make real adult decisions about living within our means and stop this spending addiction. Thank you very much.
I wanted to take a second and recognize, before we get to our next candidate, I wanted to recognize a couple of our legislative candidates in the state of Colorado. Mr. Danny Stroud from House District 1. Pauline Olvera from House District 7. Also wanted to acknowledge Mary Dobb from Adams County Chairman and stalwart activist. Chairman and Mrs. Mark Baisley from Douglas County. Saw you here, Mark. And you'll hear from Dan, but I wanted to acknowledge Mrs. Mays, the heart and soul of where I Okay, coming up next, I'm reversing the order just a little bit. We're going to have our candidate for Secretary of State come up. And Secretary of State, one of the most important jobs that we have. It's about elections. It's about that fundamental right of us choosing our leaders and exercising our sovereignty. We need someone to stand up for us. We need someone to say no to things like same-day registration and all the other nonsense that came up. Scott Gessler is an activist, but again, he's an activist for the letter of the law. He's an outstanding attorney, good friend of mine, and I'm glad to welcome him, and we will make him the next Secretary of State to make sure our elections are fair.
For that great introduction. And let me tell you, it is an honor to speak after Dr. Mike Phelan. I hail from Denver as well, and it's good to see we've got a great candidate there who Diana DeGette is afraid to debate because she knows she's going to get thumped on the issues that Coloradans care for, which is keeping our taxes low, keeping our people free, and keeping our government out of our affairs. So I'm Scott Gessler. I'm running for Secretary of State, and Leandre stole some of my thunder there, but the fact is fair elections matter. They matter a lot. And we've got a real choice in this election here because we've got a person in the office now. His name is, his first name is Team, his second name is Ritter. His name is Team Ritter. And he was appointed by Bill Ritter without any background in elections law, and he's basically following the worst instincts of the far left wing of the Democratic Party. And what that means is he's against common sense reforms like photo identification, or requiring new voters for the first time to show proof of U.S. citizenship when they come to register to vote. Those are common sense reforms I think we need here in Colorado. And the other and at the same time, he's just failing to do the basics. You know, about a year ago, Colorado passed a law, Congress passed a law that required Colorado to get its absentee ballots out to our overseas military voters to send those ballots 45 days before our election. And our current Secretary of State, he sat on his hands. He said Colorado couldn't do it. He said Colorado wouldn't do it. And he finally had to be ordered by the federal government to get the job done so our overseas military voters would not be disenfranchised. Now, I served overseas in the military. I'm very sensitive to this. And the fact is, when people are eligible to vote, we need to do everything we can to make sure they have the opportunity to vote. Something that's just come up in the news, you may have paid attention to it. The Secretary of State does more than elections, also does business registrations. And right now, today, as we speak, our legitimate Colorado businesses are getting ripped off through corporate identity theft. People are going in and changing registrations and using that new corporate registration to run up credit card charges and basically steal a corporate ID and rip them off. And the reason they can do that is because all of our business registration, if anyone here has a business, your registration is unprotected. There is no password protection at all. And so people can come in at will and change that information. We need someone, not only who protects our elections, but protects our businesses as well in Colorado. Because we want this to be a business-friendly state. We want employment here. We want prosperity. And allowing our businesses to get ripped off is not the way to go about doing it. So, in office, fair elections is what I stand for, protecting our elections, protecting our businesses, and that's what I'll do as Secretary of State. So again, my name is Scott Gessler. Thank you very much.